So this problem is asking what is the mass in grams of 1 gallon of water, and we are given for this problem these different conversion factors. We have the density of water and these different volume conversions. So we start these problems by always just writing out what is given to us in the problem, which is that we have 1 gallon of water. And what we do is we're going to end up multiplying it through by these different conversion factors and reciprocals of these conversion factors, canceling out units until the only unit that we have is the one that it's asking for, which is grams. So looking at these different conversion factors, the one with grams in it, or grams of water here, is this one. So we know that this is going to be the final step in the problem, is to multiply through by this conversion factor here. So that kind of gives us something to aim for, because we know that this one here is given in milliliters. So what we have to do is convert gallons to milliliters. And just looking at these other ones, what we're going to do is first convert from gallons to quarts, and then from quarts to liters, and then liters to milliliters. And that might look a little hard when you first look at it, but basically if you just kind of start with doing whatever conversions you can possibly do, it kind of just rolls out and makes it a lot easier. So I suggest don't try and figure it out all ahead of time. You don't really have to. So just looking at this, we have gallons and we need to change it into something. So we can change gallons to quarts because that's the only conversion factor given here. And here we see that we have gallons in the numerator, but we need to have it in the denominator so we can cancel. Because the key thing with dimensional analysis is we treat units like they're numbers. So basically, if you have a gallon on top and a gallon on bottom, we say that's equal to 1, just like we have 2 over 2 is equal to 1, or 7 over 7 is equal to 1. And we can take the reciprocal of that, because just like 2 over 2, you can switch, because it's the same number, they're equal, so we can switch them. So 1 gallon over 4 quarts is equal to 4 quarts over 1 gallon. So what we're going to do here is have 1 gallon on bottom and 4 quarts on the top. Should be a Q, 4 quarts. And now these gallons cancel, so you can just cross them out to help keep track of them as you go. So now what we have is actually, instead of 1 gallon of water, when multiplied through, we would have 4.00 quarts of water. So we already did one conversion. So now going from quarts, we need to go to liters. So this time we don't have to take the reciprocal because quarts is already on the bottom. So we have 1.057 quarts is equal to 1 liter. And then finally we have from 1 liter to 1,000 milliliters. So we have 1 liter, 1,000 milliliters. And then I guess I'll delete this. Okay. And finally, we can just, to keep track of our units here, we cancel out quarts and quarts and liters and liters. And now, if we were to multiply everything through here, we would have whatever that would be in our units would be in milliliters of water. So now we just multiply through, which what I said was the last step, this final conversion factor, which is 1 milliliter of H2O for every gram of H2O. And then milliliters cancels out. And also H2O you can treat as a unit. H2O cancels out. So we're actually done now. We just need to multiply everything out. So I'll write that out one more time for you. 1.00 times 4 times 1,000 times 1.00, that's grams of H2O, all divided by 1.057. And when you multiply all that out and keep track of the 2 sig figs or the 3 sig figs that we need, we end up with 3.78 times 10 to the third power grams of H2O.